Hey everyone, it's Nubtorka here, back for another reaction video, and it is that time of the month. That's right, it's the beginning of the month, which means we have new revenue data for Gacha games across the world. This time, we got some interesting stuff coming in, a lot of new releases in October. Which will be interesting to see, kind of how they played out. I'm also kind of curious as to how Wuthering Waves is doing. They've been kind of on a decline, and I'm hoping they're not declining more. But October wasn't looking too good for them. Even though they did have, I believe, 2 releases, it wasn't as hype as I think people were hoping it would be. Other than that, let's kind of check. I'm mostly curious to see how the new releases went. Now, I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to skip through most of the beginning here because I'm not expecting much from it, and I don't want this to be, to take forever. So I'm going to skip through, only point out, stuff that I know, all the way up to about 50, and then we'll start looking at it a little bit more in depth. So, as you can see here, Sword Art Online VS and Final Fantasy Brave X VS finally ended their service. FFBE has been around for a long time. Now, Black Beacon, we've all known that this thing was crashing hard. This came out at the beginning of this year, I believe, and it just hasn't been doing well. Rememento White Shadow, this is actually kind of depressing. I think this could have gone places, but its marketing was terrible. It was outmarketed by Ethereal Restart, and I think that just ruined things overall for the game. It could have been, a lot more popular. Some new games in here: Star Wars Mecha Girls, never even heard of it. For the most side, nothing too big here. Counterside, this kind of concerns me. I still love, even though I'm not playing Counterside right now, I still like it, and this is kind of, yeah, I'm kind of bummed about this. Star Sea Asnia Trigger, I don't expect this to last long, to be honest. I did try that out, and it just really wasn't that great. Let's see, Ash Echoes, Ricci City. This is another, I think, Smilegate game. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. Dislight. A lot of people are really shitting on Stellosora. Dislight had way worse problems with its pity when it came out, and they didn't rectify it for like 4 months. And it's still making, $250,000 a month. It's not great, and it has done better. But this game has been out for, gosh, like 4 years now, something like that. It's been out for a long time. So, just take note of that when we get up towards the top here. Outer Plane must have had some type of swimsuit thing. That's the only way I can see it jumping this high. It also could be the influx of people coming in to try Chaos Zero Nightmare. They see this in the stove launcher and they're like, or they're recommended it, and it gets a boost because of that. That very well could be the case. All right, moving up, nothing out of the ordinary. Lost Sword. And I haven't brought myself to stop this yet. And the cow banner was released this past month, and I thought it was a little overkill in terms of what they did with the cowgirl, but it seems like a lot of other people agree with me. I'm surprised this didn't do better. So it seems like this is just in a steady decline. Lost Sword, it's just kind of a goofy, funny game, but nothing that you should really invest your time seriously into, to be honest. Okay, I see Mekarashi there, kind of slowly going down. Honestly, I haven't been able to keep up with it, and I don't like it. The problem is like the things you're pulling for, like, I don't really care for. That's the problem. Like, you're pulling for the mech, like you have to really want to pull for a character or something, and I don't feel like with the art style and everything, It's just kind of all over the place, and I think this is going to drop off pretty hard. Silver and Blood, this is the opposite. It actually has a really cool art style, but the gameplay is kind of bland, and so I think it eventually is going to just start dropping off. This is another game that I quit this past month, and it's just, I don't really like it. Let's see, how is it doing around the world? Okay, it's pretty much being carried by Japan. We'll see. Alright, Evertale, Princess Connect Redive. I still wish that was in America. Snowbreak Containment Zone. So this last month they had bikinis and lots of them. I'm surprised it's only a modest jump, which is kind of a bummer, but you know, it is what it is. Its global audience has never been as good as its Chinese audience. But actually, this is kind of surprising. Well, maybe that's why we don't know. If it says 0% change, that means that we didn't get the Chinese data in, basically. If this is 100% increase and 200% increase, we can pretty much guess that the Chinese audience will be close to the same. So, I mean, 600,000 and, gosh, 200% increase. I think China generally has this. In fact, China has more Android than iOS. So, this jump actually should probably be much larger if we had the Chinese data, and this is probably in the 2 million, 3 million range. So I would assume that Snowbreak is doing pretty well if we had the Chinese data in here. But this jump for global, good job. I'm so glad that they put dub in the game. It's so cool. So I hope it continues to stay in this kind of healthy range. Like when you get to 1 million above it's more of a healthy range, and I hope it stays here for a while. And I think that the banner that's coming up at the beginning of November is going to be a huge hitter. It's going to be the girl that appeared in the story for the the girl that appeared in the story for the swimsuit, and she was just really fun and vibrant, and I think a lot of people liked her. And she is going to be coming in, as well as they're going to be bringing back a unit that has been going for a while for a freebie, that is Haru. So they've got some good stuff coming up. The skins are kind of, you know, they're tame compared to the ones we just got, but overall I think the character is going to be really popular. You know, a lot of times it all depends on meta and how strong it is, so we'll see. But they're also bringing back Enya, which is a kind of a meta unit, so people may decide to just go for that instead. So will this move up? I don't know. I think probably it'll go down, but that's only if we're combining in the Chinese data that is not present right here. So all right, moving up, Slime East Sky Chron. I need to re-download this and give it another shot, to be honest. Nothing really here. Girls Frontline 2 Exilium. China, no data. A drop for Global. Global is kind of their main audience. This past month we had Florence drop, and that's pretty much it. And this next month we're gonna have Lind drop. I expect it to go up ever so slightly next month, and then we'll see a huge jump in December. We're gonna see Lind, which is a good partner for all of the corrosive teams with you know, your Klukais. And so a lot of people are going to pull for that, but most people are saving for Leva, which will likely be the anniversary unit that comes out in December, or at actually maybe at the very end of November here, because I think the Lind banner, which will come out in a couple of days, is going to last only for 3 weeks. So at the very end, we're going to see a huge jump, and so this number will skyrocket next month for sure. Girls Frontline 2 doing well. I think it's doing great. All the naysayers, the people bitching about, you know, petty things, get over it, man. It's doing great. Fire Emblem Heroes continuing to decline. Even myself, I find myself not playing much anymore. It's just, I have a feeling that Nintendo is hiding their data. It's not doing well. It's just the skill descriptions have just gotten too long. They have other things. Nintendo has other games that they're more focused on at the moment, and I think this is finally getting to the point where they're going to start sunsetting this game, which sucks. But it is what it is, and I've spent probably more money in this gacha game than any other gacha game, and I regret probably a lot of it now, but it is what it is. It did give me my value, I will say that. Even though I regret it, it gave me its money's worth. So, alright, now we're hitting to the top 50. Brown Dust 2 continuing to hold its, I'm glad it's continuing to hold its ground here. This past month, we had this, honestly, I thought it was stupid, this Halloween banner. I was not impressed by it. I thought it looked stupid. And we also had, I think, the tail end of a rerun of Mushoku Tensei. It did okay, but overall, I wasn't really impressed with it, but I'm glad to see it continue to do well. I don't know if it's going to be November or maybe December, but we should be getting another, epic skin, or whatever they're called, and those are the real breadwinners now for Brown Dust 2. So when that skin comes out, whatever it may be, I think they're aiming to have 4 per year. That's where they make a ton of their money. So it's either going to be at the beginning of December or November. I don't know. Depending on what it is, it's going to dictate how well they do next month. But Brown Dust 2 able to stay consistent at 2.5 is pretty awesome, and it has continually climbed to this spot. You know, it's not like a game that started real high and then started to gradually get worse and worse. No, this game started pretty low, and it has just slowly gotten more popularity as time goes on, which is pretty cool. Limbus Company, man, this just isn't my game, but I'm glad it's continuing to do well for the people who really enjoyed it. The problem with Limbus Company is now it has to fight with something like Chaos Zero Nightmare. We'll see if it's able to do that. I don't know. Epic 7, this is actually kind of disappointing. Epic 7, I expected its money to go up because we had the discount banner, which it caused me to dump all my mystics, and I expected to cause most people to dump their mystics, but it stayed the same. That's kind of concerning. We'll see what happens, but that's kind of concerning that it didn't do better through the month of October. We should be getting a new mystic at the end of November, I think. We'll be getting Nurse Yulha. We'll also be getting a new unit, which I don't think we had in October. And that new unit will be Saria, which people have wanted for a long time, me included. I've always wanted her. So we'll see what happens, but it's a little concerning that it stayed the same. That could be because CZN came out, and so most people are like, well, let's spend our money here instead. We'll see. Memento Mori, man, it just continues to do the same. No data on it though, so can't really trust this. 7 Deadly Sins, don't know much about. Stella Sora, so let's talk about this real quick. This is, okay, Hong Kong, Korea, Japan, global, and Chinese. First off, I want you to look at the Chinese, the Japanese money. Okay, it's pretty large, and so is the Korean. Let me tell you something. This has the exact same bone structure as Blue Archive, and if you don't know Blue Archive has been out for years now, and it makes a lot of money. It is a very well polished game. It had its issues. It had its issues with monetization, and unlike something like Dislight that took like 3-4 months to rectify it. They rectified it right away. And playing both this and Chaos Zero Nightmare at the same time, I find myself wanting to play both of them. Like I sometimes find myself more interested in playing Stellasaur than I am in playing Chaos Zero Nightmare. This is a very well done game. So a lot of people who have been hating on it need to just shut up, get out of the way. They're pretty certified tourists if they don't understand, some of the how this works. And you can see right here how Japan is doing. I'm willing to bet. I don't know where Chaos Zero Nightmare is on this, but I'm willing to bet that this number jumps above Chaos Zero Nightmare next month. Because this will be a consistent, steady riser over the course of time, especially once it's gotten away from, its mislaunch, you can say. 3.5 million for only 1 week and a half or so. It's pretty damn good. But watch these Japanese numbers. This is going to be one that's really popular with Japan. And I don't know if it'll be popular with global. Maybe it will. But really, it's going to be Japan that loves this game. So, that's Stellasaura. Really good game. Go try it out. It's definitely worth it. One Piece Treasure Cruise. One Piece continuing to put out its money. Wow, massive drop for Destiny Rising. I don't even know this game. So, it's impressive that it was at 11 million to begin with. JoJo Bizarre's Adventure, Kaiju number 8, the game. This is just an IP rip, and we'll see how long it lasts, but I expect, the numbers to just keep going down. Wizards Fairy and Daphne, I still have never played this, but it's continuing to do well, which is great. Watcher of Realms, never heard of it, brand new. Maybe I'll try it out, see what it's like. Ensemble Stars, continuing where it is. Shadowverse, man, I just can't get into a card game like this, to be honest. I don't know, it's hard for me to get into a card game like this. Reverse 1989 was still finishing up the launch of the global launch of its anniversary. So seeing this go down doesn't really surprise me. The Chinese revenue going up is kind of surprising because I don't think anything huge came out for the Chinese version. There's a Robushka that came out, and she helps your blood type teams, but really the other one that came out was like a replacement for Lucy, but it's like a side grade. It wasn't like an upgrade. So that's kind of surprising. This game makes its money off of characters, not necessarily skins. So this is surprising to me. It won't be long until they combine up the Chinese and the English servers together. We're now like one patch away. They're really close to doing it. We'll see what happens. But I can't explain this. I'm actually very surprised. So being able to stay consistent almost after the anniversary that Global had produced, pretty impressive. Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle looks like this is the loser of the month between the two DBZ games. The other DBZ game will be higher. Azure Lane, it just got off of an anniversary month, so it's not a surprise that basically revenue went down for Azure Lane. The skins weren't as spicy. It was the Halloween event with the tentacle ships and whatnot. I don't really like that thing, but some people do. So this is to be expected. No biggie there. Blue Archive, let's see. An increase in Chinese revenue and Japanese revenue. I don't think... I'm trying to think of who was released. They just got off an anniversary, I thought. Over on the Japanese side. So this is kind of surprising. But overall, Blue Archive, just continuing to chug along. This is what you need to watch out for Stellasaura. Like, this game does well. And it's mismatched, so you don't know when the Japanese has an update and when global has an update, and so its revenue fluctuates because of that. Stellosora won't be the same. We'll see how it turns out, but overall, pretty healthy for Blue Archive. Marvel, Mahjong Soul, Disney's Twisted Wonderland. This is all kids, making this money. Light and Night and Omnioji are Girl Coomer games, continuing to do well. We have Summoner's War, dropping off a little bit here. And then we have Dragon Ball Legends. This is the other Dragon Ball game. It's dropping off a little bit. So, but overall, it is the winner between the two Dragon Ball games this time around. Another Idol Master game. There's like a bazillion of them if you haven't seen so far. So we have Chaos Zero Nightmare here. I honestly think this is doing great. This is global though, but apparently there's been issues in Korea. I don't know. I don't know how they did the translations over there, but apparently Owen is the ultimate NTR. As Genizot said, the god of NTR, and he ruined it for a lot of people, so that's kind of funny and interesting, but we'll see. Overall, I stand by what I said earlier. I think, maybe it won't be next month, but I think over time, Chaos Zero Nightmare is probably going to make less money than Stellosora. They're both so good. I absolutely enjoy them, so awesome. Infinity Nikkei, this is surprising. It seems like they're finally recovering from their stupidity the past several months, but I mean, you can see most of their revenues in China. So, Chinese like the dress up aesthetic, go for it. Trick Hall Revived, I think this just came out like at the very end of September. So I don't know what to say on this one, to be honest. I don't know much about it, but this is a huge increase. Life Makeover, I wonder, is this a I'll have to look into this. Like, is this like Infinity Nikkei? Like, I don't know what to expect out of something like this, but this is interesting. I wasn't expecting this to be like the highest, jump. Maybe they've been around for a while and we just haven't seen it. I don't know, but that's pretty impressive. All right. Puzzles and Dragons, Battle Cats, Colorful Stage, Etheria Restart. I cannot believe this game is still making money. It's such a terrible game. Oh my gosh. This is just an example of how marketing teams can make things different. Like, Rememento White Shadow is so much better in this game, and look at where Etheria Restart is. It is... oh my gosh. I can't believe it. I have no clue what came out to cause this double jump in revenue, but, props to them for tricking people into spending money for this game. I'm impressed. You guys do you. Another One Piece, Cookie Run Kingdom, and here we're starting to get to the big ones. We have Zenless Zone Zero. Slight increase with Lucia. I was expecting more, but I think this is where we can kind of see things settling for Zenless Zone Zero. I think it's always just going to be a $10 to $15 million game. It just doesn't appeal to a lot of people. Its broad appeal just isn't there. It is strictly combat focused, just like all the people in Genshin wanted. And it's now proving that the Genshin developers were correct in that people didn't want that. They wanted a more laid-back game with Genshin, and that's what they did. And they spun this off, made this the combat-focused game, and it's just not as popular. Which is kind of a bummer, because I enjoy ZZZ, especially with the changes they've made with 2.0, but it is what it is. So, Nikkei, this is like the calm before the storm. Actually, I'm surprised. You know, the patch was released with Nayuta in October. It was like October 30th, but it was released. So it only had 2 days of sales. I expect this number to jump up a ton next November because it'll have Liberalio. I can never pronounce that. It'll have Liberalio sales, and so it'll do a lot better. But the other stuff that came out during this month for Nikkei were duds. So they were skips because people were saving for what was coming at the end of the month. So this is the most, like in Nikkei, whenever a half anniversary or anniversary comes, the month before, you can just know that it is going to die down drastically because people are saving for that next month. So expect November to explode. So here we have Wuthering Waves. This is the end of the Yuno Augusta banner, and here we have Galbrina and Chi Yuan. I knew this would happen. I'm almost positive in the last video I said it, they would be down to 15 million. And to be honest, I think next month it's going to stay around here or maybe even go at lower. I think Wuthering Waves is going to start settling into the ZZZ kind of area. It'll never be able to compete with some of the Titans out there. I love Wuthering Waves, but they have a habit of doing a lot of things that are just not fun. They have a They have a habit of copying things from Hoyoverse that just aren't that great. Like, why would you copy that? You know, many times that goes through my head when I'm looking at some of the stuff that comes out of Wuthering Waves. And right now, it's so character dependent, and they keep trying to milk you for, you know, double characters. And when you look at a character and you're like, wow, if I want this character to work, I have to get this one. People are deciding to just skip instead of getting it. Like, they're looking for a brand, you know, type of character. They're looking for, I guess Augusta would be another good example. You know, or maybe even for Lova, just a character in which they can play with maybe some 4 stars that don't need, you know, another 5-star to operate. The Zanis, Galbrenas, stuff like that, I have a feeling that those are going to continue to be less popular, and they're going to kind of die off. And it's going to kill this game unless they get their head out of their asses and stop doing that. So I expect this to be kind of the same. People will be excited for Buling, the first 4-star in forever when she comes out, but I just don't, like, I don't see Chisa bringing the sales out that much, especially when 3.0's right around the corner, because we don't know what we're getting with 3.0. So we'll see what happens, but Wuthering Waves is kind of in a weird spot right now, and I hope they recover out of it, but as of right now, things aren't looking the greatest for the game in terms of what it could be. Like, obviously, making 21 to 15 million a month is fantastic compared to a lot of things on here, but I feel like they could be doing way more. They could be doing consistent like 25 million, and right now it's just not cutting it. Ume Musume, I wish I got more into it, but it's continuing to hang in there. Korea had the boost this time. I wonder what came out or didn't come out in the other aspects of the game, but it's still a Japanese game, and really they dictate how much this game rises or falls. So moving up here, we have Monster Strike, and then we have Honkai Star Rail. I knew HSR would drop off. I didn't think it would drop off this much. I think I was predicting around the 30 million mark. This is Pretty significant, though. Let's see who came out. It was... Well, it was a unit we got for free. So maybe I should have expected it to drop off more than this. At the beginning of this month, November, we're going to get Cyrene. And this number is going to shoot up. It'll probably be the #1 selling game at the beginning of next month. Without a doubt. HSR continues to deliver with its story and everything. I know a lot of people are upset because it's almost like the same thing with Genshin. Like, they just think they know the game better than anyone else. And that's just not the case. Like, you don't know. So, this drop-off is predictable and believable. But next month, you're looking at your #1 right here. Most likely. Unless, Love and Deep Space brings out some stupidly hot guy. Arknights, I have no clue what went on, but it stayed pretty steady. So that's pretty good. Fate Grand Order, I still can't believe people spend money on this game, but it is what it is. It's kind of like a, passion now. SD Gundam Generation Eternal. I know nothing about this game, and I should probably download it and test it out, but doing pretty well. Naruto Mobile, this is pretty impressive for China only. Like, I'm wondering, like, I've heard it's pretty good. I'm wondering what it'll be like next month. We'll see. So, we have Pokemon TCG Pocket. Like I said, this is their game that's really doing money now. So, I just see Fire Emblem falling off from here. Don't know it came out, but I believe a new pack comes every month. And if it was really good, then it's going to be popular. Enough is enough. Love and Deep Space. Just hanging steady. No new hot guys. Just standard hot guys. And then Genshin Impact. Doing what it does. Slight increase. I do believe that Nograi has made people a lot more satisfied. The Flynn's banner and Nefer are the two things for this month. Nefer, I'm surprised that Nefer made more than, like, Lauma. Like, I'm surprised. Flynn's probably was very popular too. I don't know when Flynn's came out. He either came out at the very end of September or it was the beginning of October, but data reflects this. Genshin's just continuing to do well, and it's like, even though I'm not really enjoying it as much, the fact of the matter is it's like a casual, enjoyable game. That's what it's meant to be. And that they understood that more than a lot of people out there who wanted it to be like a big time combat game. And the proof is there. Look at Genshin, look at ZZZ. Two different things. I guarantee you, if ZZZ weren't here, this 12 million would probably just be baked straight into Genshin, because that's where a lot of people went to. So that's pretty much it. Quite the list, man. Some interesting stuff. Overall, nothing too unpredictable. I think next month, the things that I'm going to be most excited for or interested in is I want to see where... I would like to see where Stellasaur and CZN end up next month. I have a feeling that their places are going to be reversed, as Stellasaur will have more of a steady decline, whereas CCN will have more of a Etheria restart drop off. That doesn't mean that it'll be bad. I just think that they're going to flip places in terms of how popular they are. HSR will be #1. Like, I don't doubt that. So you can count on that. HSR being #1. Next month, Wuthering Waves may drop off more, and also expect Nikkei to jump way into the top 10 here for next month. So that's kind of what I'm predicting for next month. And overall, a lot of the games that I play seem to be doing pretty well. So that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction and breakdown. And, well, hopefully it helps you, for some of you, it helps you know whether or not you should be investing in a game, because that's one of the things that people are worried about when they play Gacha games is like, oh, is this game gonna just like EOS before I can even have fun in it? Um, Hopefully, I give you a little bit of knowledge, can help you out. But, anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you guys next time. Network out. See you guys.